Apparently, Coca-Cola did something pretty damn creepy. We're going to talk about it, and I'm going to tell you how to not be creepy like Coca-Cola in this video. I'm John Sonmez from BulldogMindset.com, and on this channel, I teach you how to have the Bulldog mindset, which is all about mental toughness, stoic philosophy, and really just becoming the kick-ass person that gets what you want out of life. I saw this news article, and I wasn't really planning on making a video tonight, but I saw this, and I had to make a video because it's so interesting here, and there's so much to say about this. Apparently, what happened was on Delta Airlines, Coca-Cola made some napkins that were creepy. So I looked at this, I'm like, okay, well, what kind of creepy napkins? This is this some kind of like overreaction by whiny people? And it sort of is, but it sort of isn't. I can kind of agree with this one. So here's the napkins. So it says, because you're on a plane full of interesting people, and hey, you never know. Even that just by itself, like without like just that just is weird. Is that implying that I should have sex on the plane? Should I join the Mile High Club? I'm not sure. That's what this seems to imply. That's how I interpret it. And then on the back, it says name and number. Okay, so that's a little bit more germane. And then it says, be a little old school, write down your number and give it to your plane crush. You never know. I'm going to have to agree with the creepiness factor there. That's kind of weird. It is kind of creepy, and here's why. Okay, so this is the thing to understand about this. Again, I think people are like overreacting to it. I don't think it's like a huge freaking deal, but I mean, Coke should have known with the political climate the way it is and how sensitive and butthurt people are that this would ruffle some feathers. I mean, it's pretty damn obvious that that this is not something that is just going to go unnoticed by feminazis and the like. So, but here's the thing: you don't know what is creepy and what's not, and that's that's a problem. Okay, because you misinterpret things if you don't understand. So I'm going to point to a resource at the end of this video that will help you. If it is bold action and direct, okay, if the intentions are clear, they're not hidden. If there's not a hidden agenda, it is not creepy for the most part, okay? If it is non-direct and there are secret intentions, incongruencies in the action, okay? There's an ulterior motive, and it's not bold, it's creepy, okay? So we could take that test and we could apply it to this napkin. I'll tell you why this would be creepy, but why hitting on someone on a plane is not necessarily creepy, right? Some people would just say, "Oh, you shouldn't hit on people on the plane." Well, I'm sorry, but this planet, okay, has a lot of people on it. How the fuck do you think they got here? I'll give you a little bit of a secret if you promise not to share it with anyone, because a lot of people were having sex. It's true. And you know how they had sex? Do you think that it was all arranged marriages? No. They met each other, okay? A lot of them imagine this, guys. Before the internet, the only way to communicate with someone of the opposite sex was to communicate with them. You had to actually like go and talk to them and say hi or something, or write your number on a creepy ass napkin. I don't know, but you had to do something like that. So anyway, let's go and look at this and just kind of dissect this through that lens I just gave you, okay? Suppose your crush is sitting next to you on the plane, or not even next to you. Maybe she's just like a few rows up, okay? And you see her, and you see this napkin, and you're like, oh, I'm going to write my phone number and my name on this napkin. I'm going to give it to her. The reason why it's creepy is because it's not bold. Right? Like, let's look at the test of this. This is not bold, okay? This is kind of like chicken shit behavior, right? If you're writing your name and your number and passing it to someone discreetly, that's pretty chicken shit, okay? So that is coming off as kind of creepy. Like, do you want to get, all these, think about the socially introverted, smelly guy on the plane just like giving you a napkin with a number on it. Not very cool, okay? A lot of it comes from this factor of the fact that it's not bold. The motive is not clear. Now, again, there's the name and the number bit of it sort of masks the intention, right? Because when you give someone the napkin, they don't know what you're doing until they look at it and they're like, "Oh, I see." Okay, so it's a very non-bold way. You're not putting yourself at risk. Okay, so basically another way to look at this would be to say that if you put yourself at risk, risking rejection, it's usually not creepy. But if you buffer yourself from rejection, if you mask it so that you can do something that will not cause you to feel, you're basically putting the risk or the brunt on the other person, then it becomes creepy, right? When you think about all the kind of creepy actions that guys get accused of doing, of stalking girls and following them and saying weird shit to them, okay, and looking at them, staring at them, and catcalling them, right? These things we call creepy. Why? Again, it's not bold, confident action, and the intentions are not clear. Okay, so that's what's happening with this whole napkin snare. There's nothing wrong with necessarily hitting up with someone on a plane. Like I said, this is how the human race repopulates the earth. But when you do it in this way, it's kind of weird. It's kind of creepy. It's not direct. Now, we could contrast this with you are sitting next to some beautiful young lady on the plane, and you say, "Hey, what's going on?" And you introduce yourself and you start up a conversation and you kind of flirt a little bit. You're like, "Oh, you're kind of cute, but I'm not sure if you're quite my type," or something like that. I mean, maybe you're not quite that direct because you are stuck in the plane, but you're goofing around. You're having a good time. You're having fun. You're indicating some interest, or you're basically saying some things that, "Oh, you're kind of cute, but I don't know if I like your shoes," or you ordered Sprite. Oh, we could never be together. Something like that. Okay, that's fine. All right. Again, I'm not trying to give you the exact thing. You're gonna have to figure out the what to say in the situation, but doing something like that and then saying, "Hey, by the way, I would like to continue this conversation some other time. What's your number?" Right? Or something like that. Or saying, "Hey, let's connect. Let's get together. We should exchange numbers." Right? Totally fine. Not creepy at that point. But when you just randomly go up to someone who you haven't even talked to and you put your phone number on the napkin, or even worse yet, you've talked to them and then you write it on the napkin and then pass it to them, that's creepy. Again, because the intentions were masked. They weren't clear. You didn't take a risk. You didn't face rejection. You weren't bold. Okay, so it became creepy. If you're willing to make the other person comfortable in order for you to face rejection, right? If you say, "Hey, I would love to exchange numbers with you," and then that person says no, it's like, cool, all right, fine, not a big deal, right? That then there's not that feeling of pressure. There's not that feeling of weirdness, of creepiness, because all of your attentions, everything you're trying to do is direct, and you can just pull it off. So I hope that, guys, that makes sense to you guys. But I promise you that I would do a resource here. The resource I have is actually this video on being creepy. You can check it out here. It'll be in the cards. There'll be a link in the description below, and it's kind of a lot more comprehensive than this, where you can really gauge. So watch that video, click the subscribe, and if you haven't already, I will talk to you next time.